Yo, welcome, Jolita.
Hey, thank you.
Mhm. Awesome. So sorry about the technical mix-up. I don't know why the link didn't work. It didn't work for me either, so I had to create a new call. But hey, you might be the only person here today, and that's cool. I mean, you get like a free one-on-one uh, feedback and coaching session, so that's awesome. But how's everything going?
It's going pretty good. I'm actually on my way to get Ethiopian food.
Hey, I'm jealous.
Yes, I've been fasting for like the past 2 weeks now. So I broke my fast a couple days ago. Now I'm like, okay, I want some Ethiopian food.
Yeah, you earned it. So
How
what
are
kind of
you
fast
over
did you?
there?
Oh, I'm doing super well. It's raining a little bit right now in Ecuador, but it's actually really beautiful. Like lots of good plants and flowers and all of that. And I don't know if you saw my recent post, but I'm actually preparing to do like a 7-day fruit feast and including like 3 days of grapes only. And so I decided to actually invite the group members here to do that with us, and as well as like the IG family, anyone who is interested in doing that. But it's actually free for the group members, and anyone who wants to join the cleanse and get all the support, they actually have to sign up for the group and do the paid membership. But I think it's going to be a really sweet deal because it's actually a 7-day cleanse, but they'll be in there for the whole month. So they'll have like 4 weekly calls with us and
Hmm.
access to all the resources that are there in the community. So yeah, I think it's just good timing too, around the holidays. I mean, I'm doing it now before the holidays. I don't really celebrate those holidays, but it'll also be a good thing for people to learn that they can apply later on after the holiday feast and around the new year and whatever. It's good to have that detox regimen that you can always kind of go back to reset. So,
Definitely. When is it starting?
um, I plan on starting, I'm personally starting tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, I'll see what the people in the group like when they want to jump on, but I'll be starting tomorrow for 7 days. And I'm really just offering mostly the 3-day grape cleanse to everybody because I think everybody can benefit from that. And the
Yeah.
other days are just like, time for preparation, doing some more lighter detoxes or lighter eating. And yeah, but honestly, the people who will sign up for the cleanse will have all month to take advantage of it because they're in the group. They'll be in the group here.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Yeah. What kind of fast did you recently just complete?
A raw fast. So I did vegetables too because the fast I did like 2 months ago, it was all liquid. But I feel like me being in the cold weather, that's kind of extreme. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Nice. How long did you go on the all liquids?
it was about 16 days.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, most can't do anything for like 3 days. So 16 is that's really consistent for you to like actually get some results, some actual
Mhm.
tangible results.
I
Hmm.
definitely then
And yeah,
learned.
that's just,
Hmm,
no, go ahead. What did you say? You learned something?
I definitely learned that 3 days not really enough. Like I really started fasting on my own this year, and then when I did like 3 days on my own, I'm like, yeah, this not enough if you want to see like real results. So I kind of just been like working my way up. to do longer ones, and it's been going pretty good.
That's what's up. So, and you said this recent time, how long did you do the raw fast that you about to break or just broke recently?
The same 16 days.
16 is your little threshold. You're like, look, I can't take it no more. I want some bread or something.
Yeah, I've noticed like how my bowel movements though has been super like regular, like normal, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm being kind of cautious with what I put in my body now because
Hmm.
I don't like feeling like constipated or just my bowel movement switching up
Yeah,
from
I
something
know
that I
exactly what
know.
you mean. It's like you kind of sense, you're kind of just very like not sensitive, but very fine attuned to like what your bowels and what your gut feels like. And even if you don't feel bad, it does kind of feel silly to be having like more dehydration or more slower digestion and just feeling different, smelling different, and just experiencing different. It's like I want my senses back on. I want to actually be alive, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. So, okay, so that you just shared like a really cool accomplishment that you did like 10 days raw. What was the main benefit you noticed from that particular 16-day detox?
The main benefit. I'm not going. Well, before I just let me think about that. Mm,
Or did you actually have a particular goal or intention in mind before you began? And did you actually like accomplish and get that goal, the result that you was looking for?
my intentions on this, I guess I do be having an intention. Like I just be trying to see as far as like my spiritual gifts, like how how much more will this fast like amplify that as far as manifesting with my words and meditation and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say that I definitely reached that goal. This time around, I definitely been like going within a lot, and I definitely feel like things that I've been wanting or calling to me definitely been coming really quickly. So
Hmm. Yeah, you kind of notice like a faster response time from the universe between your thoughts and desires and what you see, right?
yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. And so, okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to ask people about. I see we have Ryan here on the call now, and
Yes, Ryan.
usually I just like to start the week off asking, what types of accomplishments or wins that people have experienced this week or on their journey, something to be proud of, something you overcame, or a goal that you recently met. So you just shared your goal of doing the detox and amplifying your spiritual gifts. Ryan, we actually had from last week, we had set some action steps in place for the people to actually improve on what they wanted to improve on. So I'm gonna ask Ryan. Ryan, do you remember what your goals were for last week? And if you made any improvements or if you tried anything that we talked about last week?
Yeah, well, it's not exactly what I would call the ideal results. And unfortunately, I think what happened was something you already know about this, but the issue with that something else something else got in the way of it. So it's only now starting to settle. So it
Did
didn't.
something get in the way or did
It
something
got in
else
the way.
come up and it caused a distraction for you?
Well, yeah, the issue with the massage place didn't exactly settle right away. That has been there for some time. So that
So
kind of got in the way of it.
for the context of the call, what was your goal for last week?
Oh yeah, well the goal was to actually stay away from the market, and I don't I I
But that
may have
wasn't the
stayed.
that wasn't the goal. Stay away from the market. It was not the actual um,
Mm-hmm.
the specific goal that we had in mind. Was that you pretty much ideally want to go to the market one time per week,
Yeah.
because more than that is just unnecessary excess spending, excess food. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a bunch of stuff you don't need, right? It's a distraction, it's a coping mechanism. We all been there, whether it's like shopaholism or food
Yeah.
addiction, a mixture of both. So
Yeah.
the conclusion was to set an easier or set a more attainable or more realistic goal. So rather than saying, oh, let me not go to the market 7 days a week, you're like, let me go to the market 1 day per week. That's such an unrealistic goal. Because even if you only go to the market 6 days, you didn't hit your goal, but you made an improvement. And you're not able to focus on the improvement because you're only focusing on how you missed the goal, when really the goal was realistically unattainable or unrealistic. So we decided a
Mm-hmm.
better goal, a more realistic, more attainable goal would be going to the market every other day. No more, like not every single day. So every single time that you skip a day going to the market is a win, because it's a day where you didn't go to the market 2 days consecutively, because that will automatically improve your frequency. If there's 7 days out of the week, and you only go to the market 6 of those days, that's an improvement. If you only go to the market 5 of those days, that's an improvement. So based off of that, last week, did you ever go to the market 2 days in a row? And or did you ever
I
skip a day going to the market?
Well, I was checking now. I skipped one day, but that was it. There was one day that was skipped because actually I wanted to make sure because yeah, one day was indeed skipped. It
I'll
was
tell you.
the it was the
She was
11th.
asking real quick, Ryan, for clarity. She was asking, "What's the market?" For him, it's like the food market, the grocery
It's
store,
it's a
the supermarket,
supermarket. It's two
supermarket.
specific ones that I know of.
Yeah. So for you in Chicago, that could be Pete's, or that could be a particular farmer's market, or for you, that could even be raw vegan restaurants. It's like he's particularly self-soothing a particular way, trying to fill a void by unnecessarily going to the supermarket and to buy
Oh,
junk food
oh, I
when he
actually
knows it's not what he needs. Hmm?
I skipped it twice.
Nice.
Well, I just noticed that because I'm going over the bank statement. That's when I know when I go. So, all right, it was twice then. I didn't even
That's
realize I
good,
did
man.
that.
So is that better than most weeks, or out of the past 4 weeks?
Yeah, well,
Is that one
yes,
of the better weeks?
yes, because otherwise it'd be every other day. So,
Right. So
so
now we
apparently I
can
did
focus.
skip it twice.
So would you consider that? So when we first got on the call, you said things didn't go ideally, but based off the goal that we set, things did go ideally. Ideally, you would make an improvement, and you made an improvement, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I
So
skipped it at all, so that's why I was checking.
that's a good thing. That actually means that you wasn't even focused on the missing out of the market because you didn't keep track. You were so focused on what you were enjoying and what you wanted to go towards that just didn't even, you actually missed 2 days going to the market, which is really in line with your goals. You were actually must have been doing something else more productive, more enjoyable. The time passed, and that's what it's about, man. You know,
Actually, one of those days was not a good day though. So,
we're not talking about a good day. We have talking
yeah.
about our specific goal, and did we meet the goal? Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't start diminishing your accomplishments by focusing on other things that are less than perfect in your life.
Mm-hmm.
We can be miserable every single day of our life if we focus on things that are not quote unquote perfect. Um, but everything that we say that is not ideal, there's something else that we are getting. So there's something else that we are benefiting from in some way, because we're choosing to wake up every day and live our lives. So what helps is when we actually focus on those things, like, well, I ate too much junk food today. We can beat ourselves up, or we can say, well, what did I learn from this? Like, yeah, I ate too much junk food, but honestly, I like the way it tasted. And I had a good time, and I guess I'm a little bit wiser now about what I want. I don't want to eat as much junk food as I've been doing. So these are the things we can focus on because they help us feel good, they help us see abundance, and they help create more room for the things that we desire. Ryan, do you are you conscious of every time that I actually stop you from negative self-talk? Like, are you conscious of how unnecessary it is and how you can really just think of something else or speak of something else and just focus on what's working? And we can just have a beautiful conversation, beautiful feelings, and maybe just a little bit of those beautiful feelings might uh, spill over into the next moment, into the next text message, into the next thing that we're looking at outside our window, into the next, so you really gotta like, I hope you understand the benefit of why I'm always pulling it back towards the positive. It's not to be dismissive, it's not to act as if we don't have problems, but it's like, how often has the focus on our problem actually eliminated the problem?
But you are cutting in and out, by the way.
Okay. I will turn my camera off because it'll have better signal, so that'll help. But thank you, Jalita. I hear what you said. I'm the mentor. I want to hear more about that in just a moment when you say I'm the mentor you didn't know you needed. So yeah, Ryan, that's all. We want to just keep it really clear, simple, and succinct. You had a goal last week to go to the market at least one time less than the last week, and you did that. So congratulations. We're making progress. And
Mhm.
that's really just awesome, dude. Like, don't diminish that accomplishment. Like why aggrandize and blow up out of proportion the negative things that we don't even want? I mean, if you have the ability to exaggerate negativity, use that same creativity to exaggerate positivity. It's literally a choice about what we're going to focus on. There is no absolute right, wrong, good, bad. Like, you just either like what you're getting or you don't. And if you don't like what you're getting, focus on what you want to get. If you like what you're getting, focus on how grateful you are for it and keep feeling good about it, because you're just going to
Mhm.
more likely to magnetize more experiences like that. Um, cool. So that was our kind of recap about last week, what we accomplished. So, all right, is anyone on the call having any current, present challenges? It could be a new challenge, or it could be a goal something you want to accomplish, result you want to see this coming up week. And we can all kind of co-create and help each other um, focus on those things and stick to it. We can just do group goal setting here. Um, so maybe you want to start with Ryan, because you might be really clear based off last week. Okay, I made an improvement, but maybe some other stuff, like you said, got in the way. Some other non-ideal things might have happened. So what do we want to get help with this week? Where can we seek value?
I don't know at this point, actually. Really, I hadn't really thought much about that. First of all, I didn't know I did so well, so.
Look, yeah, you're not even prepared to experience the good news. It's like you don't even know what to do with it. But that's okay. Looks like someone else is connecting, so I'm not sure who that is, but they're coming in. Um, well, you kind of do know what your problem or goal is because you started to try to tell me about it, about some other stuff in life that you wanted to blame your grocery store failure on. You want to blame it on other things when that's not really true, but you're just so zoomed in and focused on what's not going right in your life that I understand why it's easy to like let that narrative play out. But now is the opportunity to maybe focus on what's not going well, what you want to improve, what you want to see. What's your ideal vision of next week? Like, if next week could go, let's not say perfectly, because that language is not helpful for some people. But if next week could go better than this week, what would be the one thing if you could change that you like, if you experience this one positive change next week, it'll feel good. And that could be anyone on the call, not just Ryan. We're just using prompts to help you guys dig a little bit on what are your deep desires, what are your struggles, and how can you really extract the value out of having a coach and a team, people here who can go on that journey with you. You might inspire somebody else to have the same goal. Like I said, I'm going to do grapes, and I'm inviting everyone to do grapes for 3 days or to do fruits for 7 days. And you don't got to do it alone. We got full support here. So yeah, what's one thing, if y'all could improve about last week, or if you could experience a more ideal or more perfect next week, this week, what would be something that you would love to see yourself have or accomplish?
I can go. What I want to change next week is my focus. Um, I want to be like, okay, so I'm not on social media right now, and I don't really do anything else. So it's like when your mind don't have nothing to entertain and stuff, it start looking for stuff. And I've been observing that lately, like I've been trying to entertain my man by like text to different people and stuff like that. The next week, I want to focus on writing down 2 content ideas a day, um, to get myself back on social media, and
Mm,
also like dive into some of these herbal books that I bought, so I won't
mm.
text other people.
Okay. That sounds good. So let me see if I can recap that, because that sounds very clear and simple. Kind of a twofold goal. One, where you basically talk about what you want to release and what you want to call in more of, which is a really great intention for the week, right? So you want to release some of this distractionist habits, kind of, what we call just filling time and space with unnecessary texting, and you want to fill that space with what you find more valuable and more self-serving, which would be diving into some of those books that you have, um, and also, what was the other thing you mentioned? Sorry.
Writing out 2 content ideas a day.
Exactly. So that sounds really cool. Now I do have a question, if I may help you refine some of those goals so that they can be very specific and valuable and relevant to you. In your experience, um, yeah, what benefit do you experience when you actually write out those content goals? Like, have you done that before and experienced like, okay, if I write out these content goals, then I'll actually do it? Or is the goal to actually do the content? Or for you, are you pretty clear on like, well, if I just write it out, it's gonna happen? Some people are, it should just be clear, but some people they have 50 million lists per year and none of the lists get checked off, but they feel accomplished because they made lists.
Yeah.
So just tapping into yourself, what is the thing that actually gets you to do the thing you want to do? Because you
Hmm.
actually want to make more content, and you don't even want to make content for content's sake. I'm sure you want to make content because that is going to maybe move your business forward. Maybe it's going to help more people. Like there's an end result that you actually want, right?
Right.
So is it just the clarity on what your content ideas are? Is that going to make you feel good? Or is it the actual delivering of the content? Like you want to actually be clear on the content idea, make the video or picture or content post,
Mhm.
post it and share it, like, and actually like know that look, I posted. Is the goal posting tomorrow next week, or is the goal just knowing what you want to post? And it's okay if it is, because we can
Yeah.
take ourselves at whatever. It's like I don't want to be overwhelmed. I just want to be clear on what to post. That's cool too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more so just being clear on what I want to post. Um, because like I said, I've been off social media for like a whole 2 months. So I just want to make sure that I'm being intentional with my content. Like everything is
Mm,
not focused on selling something. Like I wrote down 3 different categories. Like some of my content will be focused on my products. The other one would be like pure education. And then the third one would be like something food related. So like in order for me to like make all the videos successfully without taking all day, like I need to have it written down, like the bullet
yeah.
points of what I'm gonna say and all of that.
Okay, that's really good. And you said write down two ideas per day is your goal, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome. So
did
by the end,
six
you'll
today. I
have
did
like,
six today.
say again?
I did six today, and it felt really good because for me, like being an entrepreneur, I feel like content is something that I'm working on, like being better at, because it can be overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, especially when you're like actively learning. So yeah,
No, that's awesome. I love to hear that. So yeah, by the end of the week, you'll have like, I don't know, 15 or 20 something odd ideas. And I'm sure you'll feel super inspired to go and create those things. So that's awesome. So can't wait to hear from you next week and hear how that journey is going for you with using your time more wisely, digging into your books, and also writing down your content ideas. That, like I said, that for you is going to make you feel a lot more successful and at ease, and you'll just feel really well. Let me not tell you. You tell us how will that actually make you feel to kind of accomplish that.
it's gonna make me feel good. It's gonna make me feel like I'm moving towards the end goal right now that I have myself, which is like for January, when I get back on social media, I want to have everything planned out. So in January, when I'm making new content, that's gonna be content for February. So trying to
Nice.
stay ahead.
Yeah. Super, super. Awesome. So yeah, we'll be checking in and asking about that throughout next week. And please let us know how you're doing with that in the group. Be excited to see how that journey's going for you.
And I did want to say, what time is the call over? At 7?
Um, I I said that I'll give 2 hours. So it's you can
Okay.
like head out whenever you need to. I know you was trying to get Ethiopian food. Maybe you was like, look, I can stay on the call as long as the restaurant don't close. I know how it is. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
like let's see, it's already 45 minutes into it. Basically, I just want to finish up everyone else's goal setting. I think we have two more people on the call, and then I'll give a brief overview of the fruit diet and the grape cleanse that we're going to be doing this week. And
Okay.
that's if anyone like has questions about it and is interested in know more about that. And also just for having this conversation recorded as well, so people in the group who didn't make it to the call can also get some of that information. But also, it's their loss because if you have questions, come to the call, or at least send me the questions, and I can answer the questions during the call, even if you can't make it to the call. You can watch the replay and all of that. So that's how to handle it if you yourself cannot make it next week to the call. Just be sure to send in any questions you have beforehand, any goals, any feedback, and I'll actually address it in the call because it might be helpful to the other students. And also, you can watch the replay and hear the answer to your question.
Okay. All right. Well, peace, y'all. I'm about to head out. I really enjoyed this, and I definitely will be back next Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and tapping in and sharing your journey. We're all super, excited for you, and feel free to tap in and reach out for any support you need.
All right.
All right. Peace and love. So, all right. We have Ryan and who have iPhone. I'm not sure who iPhone is, so can I ask you to introduce yourself? It can be you can unmute yourself or like send a chat message to everyone.
My name is
Just
Matthew.
okay.
Uh,
Awesome. Welcome, Matthew.
I'm trying to plug my face in.
Do you know where the video where it says start video? It's like a little camcorder icon.
Oh no, never mind. I
I can
don't.
ask you start video and then I think you can
Oh,
respond.
yeah. Can you do that again? My fault. I just said later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome, Matthew.
Hi. My name is Matthew. I just joined. I don't know exactly what we're talking about, but I've
Okay.
been in this chat for a minute, for a while. But I always start them. I always start the fruit feast, but I never finish them. I could never.
Mhm. Okay, so
Yeah,
you joined from the Telegram group?
yeah, Telegram.
Awesome. And so, okay, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. So tell us a little bit about your journey, your story, and like you say you've always tried this fruit diet for like when did you first get introduced to maybe like detoxing or fruit diet or how long have you been kind of on this particular part of the path?
I've been well, I started off doing like alkaline. Like I just started eating alkaline foods for a while, and I was doing that for a while. I
So
did
one
that
more
for
thing, sorry to interrupt, brother. Let us know where you actually calling from or where you're originally
I'm
from,
from
where you live now.
I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm right here in Phoenix, Arizona, in the
Okay.
United States. But yeah, where are you located at? I
Real
see you
friendly.
travel a lot.
So yeah, I've been all around the place, a little bit more centered and grounded these days. But
Yeah,
I never made it out to Phoenix or Arizona myself. But if I ever had the chance, I guess you guys have a pretty diverse, conscious community and maybe alternative thinking people that live there. Maybe you're not so weird if you're doing a fruit diet, or I'm
yeah.
sure it's weird everywhere, but like I know some weirdos, right? Some different people that are from Phoenix, and they're like, "Yo, we can go there. We can be hippies and everything." You
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah. I feel it. Nah, I just been I've been trying to stay on this fruit journey for a while, but I just could never get a hold of it. I could never just hold on to it.
hmm Okay.
But
So yeah, what's the most recent? Tell us about the most recent time that you tried to do a fruit cleanse or a fruit diet, and what was that
why
experience like?
I just I ate a lot of melons like honeydews or watermelon not in season over here right now, but those are my
hmm
go-tos. I love watermelons. I always go to those. I eat papayas, stuff like that. Just things that clean me out. 'Cause I eat more of the alkaline fruits, but
hmm
I'll eat any other fruit too. Like every now and then, I'll eat like a regular banana. But it's because I started watching like Dr. Sebi and stuff, and just learning about the way how he eats his fruit and the foods that he eats, like quinoa, the legumes and all the legume family, all the other families and like in the alkaline family basically. But I just started doing that. So I haven't really been cleaning that much. I'm actually
hmm
not feeling too well right now. I just peeped it. I was just seeing what's going on in here, and then started
I
talking.
appreciate you tapping in, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
happy to this is a really great opportunity to get some advice from me or to get some feedback or guidance on maybe what's the next step you should do to kind of reach the goal that you want to reach, or to even just feel better, right? So, um, tell me, you say you're not feeling that good right now. Do you think you know why,
yeah.
or is it kind of normal?
Nah, I'm having a cold, like congested. Feel congested a little bit.
hmm
So that's
Okay.
bad. I feel. I tried what I looked up is you put two garlics in your nose, like you get a garlic a clove and put it in half, cut it in half, and you can put them in your nose and it starts removing a whole bunch of mucus out of you. So I tried
Right.
that, and but I don't like the it makes you smell like garlic a lot. So I don't
Oh yeah.
I don't
Yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, who's trying to smell like garlic, right?
yeah,
I feel you. So that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So, do you really like, do you really understand, or for the group here, do you guys really understand what a cold is or what these symptoms are? Because that's the thing is like a cold is not a sickness or a disease in and of itself. It's actually just symptomology. It's like having flashing lights on the check engine lights on the dashboard of a car.
yeah,
You know, the lights are not the problem. The lights are signaling internal problems with the vehicle that actually need to be addressed. So there's a lot of cool things we can do to manage symptoms because symptoms are uncomfortable. Maybe having a fever or headache or sweating or stuffy nose is uncomfortable. So it's nice to know natural ways like garlic to minimize the clog, the congestion, and to reduce that.
Yeah.
But really, the body is going through its own cleansing process. Now, when someone catches a cold or has sort of different symptoms, maybe it's a fever or a cold or a headache or whatever, there's pretty much only two reasons. And both of them are related to cleansing and detoxing. So either the body is so saturated with toxins that it is now forcing a way to eliminate those toxins through other terms of elimination. So maybe the colon is clogged, so it's going to send things out of the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. All of the other openings is going to send out mucus, inflammation, all these things because it is just so saturated with acids that the body's like, it has to take an opening and come out through the skin, through eczema, acne, all these things. So that's one reason we might experience a cold is through being so intoxicated that the body's forcing it out. And we usually trigger that when we might go out and eat meat or we might have like a long weekend of partying. The other way that you might experience a cold is when you actually intentionally facilitate the body's cleansing process. So the body's cleansing regardless of whether we're doing something about it or not, just like a river is flowing downstream, whether you're pushing the water out of a pump or whether you just letting the water fall. Either way, it's going downstream. Now, the first way that I mentioned how we can experience a cold is where the stream is too backed up with toxins. The other way how you can experience a cold is when you actually release that blockage, you also going to experience more flow from the river. So I say all that to say is that when it's really a holiday and it's really a beautiful time and celebration when we feel ourselves feeling some sort of symptoms. It's like, thank God, hallelujah, I'm alive and my body works, you know? Then we just have to ask ourselves, okay, am I experiencing these symptoms because I've been like irresponsible and maybe consuming things that I probably shouldn't have in a high amount? And is that finally catching up to me? Or have I actually been like on my stuff? I've been doing really well these past few weeks. I've been juicing more, eating fruit more, exercising more. Like, have I changed something in the past few weeks of my life that might be actually facilitating more detox? So maybe I'm going deeper into cleansing. And because of that, I'm actually experiencing this release of mucus through my nose or this congestion or these headaches. Is it actually because I've been working out more, going to the gyms, got a massage, you know, all of that stuff? And if that's the case, then how can I facilitate this lymphatic drainage more? Because I'm actually getting the symptoms because the waste is not getting out quick enough. So that's where using garlic can help. If you know you're on a cleanse, but your nose is clogged up, then yeah, use the garlic to unclog your nose so you can keep releasing. But now if we just drank a bunch of beer, ate a bunch of steak yesterday, or whatever your version of beer and steak, whatever the most objectionable part of your diet is, if you know you've made some of these mistakes recently, then we can try to reduce the symptoms all day, but it's still kind of waiting there to smack us in the back of the head because we're not actually addressing the root cause. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's. I don't drink or anything. I don't drink beer or nothing like that. But it's just
Like I said, alcoholic beverages ain't the only harmful liquids you can put in your body. That's just an extreme example. But
yeah,
dairy milk, processed soda, could be bad water. I mean, you could be drinking coconut water with all kinds of junk in it, and you thinking because it's coconut water, this is healthy. But if you drinking like 6 jugs of coconut water with sugar and ascorbic acid, how can we say that that's not what's causing us to have flare-ups
yeah,
and different issues when we're putting something unnatural in our bodies? So it's just a way for us to step back and actually look at our lives and what we're doing, how we're probably causing our harm or our health.
yeah, yeah. That's I've been struggling with that. Just like I've been eating right. I just mainly just been in the moment. Like my family makes some food, I'll eat it because I always been like the one who don't eat food because I'm trying to do these fruit feasts and I just been
Mm,
trying to I just been trying to be appreciated for what they. I know it's probably not the best too. I might need to focus on myself more. Just I need to stick to this fruit, but because that's what I'm on. They're not all on that. That's what I'm
mm.
on. Just trying to but I just appreciate them just making new food and appreciate them just being around and stuff like that. That's mainly where I've been going wrong at.
Okay. So when you say that, it's like do they just kind of make anything like there's so many different types of foods, right? But like
Yeah.
Are you saying that sometimes they make like non-plant-based foods and you might, for the reason you just explained, you might kind of just have that meal with them, like something with dairy or something with animal products or what?
Yeah, something
Or is
like
it
that.
just heavy fried?
Yeah, I mess up a little bit, but I don't eat meat at all. So I might have messed up. I don't even really eat dairy, but I think I ate dairy the other day. I ate a pizza and it had some cheese in it, but I didn't. I always take like pieces of the cheese out. I ain't trying to eat too much of it, but that's where I go
Mhm.
wrong at. I'm not trying to eat the whole thing, but I'm just trying. I'm still trying to get a feel of like, okay, I appreciate you, like, thank you, but
Hey, that's cool, man. I mean, that's sounds like a overall healthy approach. Like you're not being too hard on yourself. Like it sounds like you was even more strict in the past, and you didn't see no benefits with that because you still trying to do your fruit diet. Maybe you failed on that. Then you decline in family's food. So you're like maybe damaging the relationship, and it's just like, yo, there's not even no benefit. Like, let me just try to be a little bit more realistic, right? So like, let me just pick the cheese off and do what I can do, right? Does that
yeah,
sound like right now?
yeah, because I know it's not the best food, but I do appreciate. I eat like the rice and stuff like that too. And I heard
Mm.
that actually, rice it don't it's not even that good unless you have a certain mushroom. You ever heard of the Dijon mushroom?
I believe I've heard of that one before. Yeah.
It's I guess it turns it from like I don't know the science behind it, but it turns it from like dextrose to something else, or it turns it into
So
dextrose.
there's a mushroom that changes the starch in rice to something healthier.
Yeah, like it makes it consumable. It's like this. I don't know. They called it the most electrical vegetable in the vegetable kingdom.
Okay. And it's this
But
particular mushroom, basically, right?
yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of it. It grows in Haiti, but it doesn't grow anywhere else in the world.
Okay. Feel free to share, any type of link or a document about that. You can share it
Yeah,
with me privately on Telegram or even just post it in the group. And if I don't approve, then I'll take it down. But feel free to share that information with the group. It sounds very interesting for sure.
yeah. I'll look
Okay.
into it. I haven't been
So
looking.
so just one more. So I'll ask you the two questions that are pretty much guiding the phone call, which is one, do you have any wins or accomplishments or achievements based off your own goals? Anything that you're proud of in the past week or the past month, like that you want to make sure you pat yourself on the back, make sure you recognize that you've improved in some area. Feel free to share any of those wins. And that goes for you as well, Dominique. I see you joined the call. I'm just kind of recapping, and we're basically starting off with, start off with your wins and your celebrations, like celebrating yourself for actually doing something you said you would do, basically. Or even if you didn't say you would do it, just something positive that's happened in your life. Um, it's really a good time to celebrate this, and we can collectively share in the good news with each other. Because everybody got a lot of bad news. We talk about complaints all
Yeah.
the time, but yeah, let's be positive. What are we happy about? What are we proud of? Yeah.
Um, I'm proud to be alive. Like I feel like a lot of people underestimate that, and I appreciate
Mhm.
that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Dominique, do you have any particular any accomplishments or achievements that you like to share with the group here today? It could be about anything. It could be within your diet, your health. Maybe you made it to the gym more times last week. Maybe you're just grateful for being alive or grateful for being grateful, like our brother Matthew. Um, it's really notable to really just give thanks for being alive and to understand that that is a create life every single day. So, um, side note, you can't steal his, so you gotta say something different. Dominique, are you here with us? Can you hear us? Oh, let me check the chat. She said, "It's loud where I'm it's loud where I am at the moment, but I am proud of my self-discipline." Okay, I really appreciate you for sharing that. If you have a chance to type a response, Dominique, tell us in what way did you actually exercise, improve self-discipline. Maybe your example will inspire the rest of us, and maybe someone can relate to that, or maybe someone's struggling with the same type of self-discipline that you have recently um, exercised. So feel free to share that with us real quick, Dominique, and then I'll talk to the rest of the chat. So next thing I want to ask about is, what are you guys's any goals for next week? We can start with Ryan or Matthew, but I know Ryan has had time to think about this. Last week, his goal was just to not go to the supermarket and the grocery store as often because it causes him to spend too much money, overspending on extra foods that are unnecessary. And I was like, dude, rather than saying, you need to be perfect and not go to the supermarket at all, just make it a goal to go one time less. And that's a more achievable goal. Kind of like yourself, Matthew, where you recognize, like, let me just choose a more realistic goal, right? Maybe I ain't got to be perfect, but I can just dine with my family and make some adjustments and be happy with where I'm at. So Ryan, what's something that will make next week really, really successful for you? And just to recap, while Ryan is thinking, the previous girl, Lita, was on the call, and she was saying her goals for next week is based off she had a two-part intention. One, she wanted to release the fact that she's been maybe spending extra time texting, like meaningless, needless texting to fill time and fill space gaps. And she actually wants to fill that space with more intentional activities, like reading some of her health books. And also, she wants to write down 2 content ideas for her social media every single day, because she's been taking time off social media and she wants to come back with more intention. She wants to be on top of things, and that's her goals. So we're gonna check in with her on that next week. Ryan, you were about to tell me something.
Yeah, this is something I've been working on. In any event, it's just to gradually cut back the online time. It's just been something that it's gradually I'm gradually reducing, but I want to keep pushing at it because one time I got rid of my
Okay.
social media, and turns out even without it, I was able to fill the time. So that's just something that I
when
have been wanting to do anyway. Because it's like, yeah, I
you
got rid of
when you say fill
I
the
got
time, you
rid
mean
of
when you say fill the time, you mean you got rid of social media and you still end up filling the time with something unvaluable or unproductive.
Yeah, well, that's usually the fun part of having access.
Okay.
Uh,
We're going to come back to that, Ryan, and we'll brainstorm on that in just a second. So your next week is to actually dial back the screen time and the social media time even more. So that's a really beautiful
Okay, yeah.
goal. And if anyone has questions about that goal, free to ask. Now, Dominique said, let me pause Ryan's here. So Dominique was sharing that she exercises her self-discipline constantly, whether it's with her diet, reading, journaling, meditation, and learning new things. Wow, I love to hear that. Okay, so that was her win, her accomplishment for the week. Um, uh, I hope everyone can hear me. I don't know why it trying. All right, we're at 2 bookmarks here in the call. Um, One, we have Ryan that was sharing about he wants to do the social media. He just wants to spend less time online. Um, and before we dive into his, Dominique, do you have any challenges that you're facing right now on your path towards actualization, whatever way that means for you? And it could be any challenges that you're going through, or it can just be the goal in general that you have that you're wanting to focus on and call in this week. Any particular goals that you'd like some feedback or support with, or any particular challenges as you're trying to reach your goals. And that can be you as well, Matthew. Don't all chime in at once. Uh-huh. I know Dominique's probably going to type. Matthew, any goals or any so you mentioned the challenge like with staying on the fruit wave. Is that something that you're wanting help with? Maybe like you want to try again to do the fruit cleanse and see how far you can go and see how much benefit you can get. Does that sound something like helpful for you, Matthew? You're muted, by the way. So sorry. Hold up. You're muted. I cannot hear you at all.
I said, yeah, that's something I want to do. It's just I haven't stuck to it. I need to stick to it. That's mainly the goal. Just actually, I started just actually holding on to it, the goal of that.
Okay. So I don't know if you saw the message, but I recently announced that I'll be doing a 7-day fruit feast starting tomorrow, actually.
Yeah,
And out of those 7 days, I'll be doing 3 days where it's only grapes. So I've invited everyone in the school community as well as the Telegram group to join the 3-day grape challenge at least, and even better if you were able to do 7 days is actually going to make the experience even more enjoyable. So if that's something that you're interested in, just shoot me a private message saying great, and then I'll send you the information about that. And
I, I was gonna
mm-hmm.
say I am
Go ahead. What were you saying,
that.
bro?
I was gonna say I'm interested in that. What are your thoughts on seedless grapes? Because I'm not sure if they have any seeded grapes in stock right now.
Right, right. So yeah, ideally you want grapes with seeds, but in all reality, we've seen lots of healing and results on even seedless grapes. Um, I mean, we're not talking about eating only seedless grapes for 20 years. I'm sure you can probably run into some type of imbalance at that point because that's just not natural, and that's an extreme case. But I think everyone can benefit from short term fruit feasting and fruit fasting, even if it's on seedless fruit, because
Yeah,
it's still fruit. And the overall benefit that you're looking from, only half of that is coming from the fact that you're eating fruit. A large majority of the benefits come from the fact that you're not eating all this other toxic crap. So if you can just simplify the consumption down to just one food group, and that food group being the most hydrating, the most electrical, the most nourishing, the most enlivening food, and it just happens to not have seeds, well, it still has all those other properties to actually benefit us. So grapes are still the most highly electrical food, still full of fiber, and everything about a grape is still a grape, even without its seeds. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
and the main thing would be to go for the most organic versions that you can find. And also, I'll be sharing tips within the cleanse, within the group on how to source good grapes, how to properly cleanse and prepare them. And yes, you won't have to really worry about that. I definitely recommend to do it, even if you only have seedless grapes. Because
Okay.
if you're not eating seedless grapes, then you're probably getting calories from some other lackluster, suboptimal source too. You know what I mean? So it's like we're trading off in so many ways, but grapes are still going to give you the best cost benefit comparison.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So let me address Dominique's real quick. She was saying that her only challenge right now she's facing is having to rely on more processed plant-based foods at the moment while she's in trucking school, which I actually don't believe that's accurate. Like you don't have to rely on anything. Trust me, if they got processed plant-based foods, then they also have fruit. Like there's just I don't know any place that only sells Beyond Meat and doesn't have apples and bananas. So just wanted to clear that up. Now you said you actually purchased seeded grapes from Walmart. That's awesome. I've heard the same things. Walmart have seeded grapes. So I would get those seeded grapes and, do my best to clean them off with some, lemon and baking soda and things like that. Ryan says, and wouldn't the other fruits object to being neglected for so long? Very funny joke, Ryan. I mean, I don't think fruits have feelings, but either way, the grapes would be thriving. If you ate grapes 20 years, there's probably a lot of grape seeds planted in the ground. Now, Dominique says, but doesn't a fruit with no seeds lack the nutrients? It's all about what you're comparing it to, Dominique, because no one's saying get seedless grapes if you can get seeded grapes. No one is saying that. But we're talking about if you have a choice between Beyond Meat and seedless grapes, the seedless grapes have more nutrition available to your body than even Beyond Meat. I hope everyone in the call understands that. Seedless grapes, then what kind of potatoes do you think that they're using? What kind of oils do you think that your food's being cooked? What kind of salt do you think they're using? What kind of, like, if your grapes ain't good, what makes you think anything else in that ecosystem is going to be good either? So not only are you going to be eating suboptimal starches, suboptimal proteins, suboptimal vegetables, but they're also not even fruits, like they're already not fruits. And those other foods are also going to not be ideal. They're also going to be pesticide, not organic, coming from seedless or GMO sources or hybridized sources. So the point is, if everything is imperfect, fruit is still the highest version of anything you can put in your body. It just really is true for a human being. So take all of that bad stuff out to the pasture. Exactly. So, and we can talk more about that, in some of the calls on the week. I'll be sharing more about the seedless, the thing, but no one's promoting seedless fruits. We're just promoting fruits over other food groups. So I don't want to hear anyone is not going to do a grape diet because they can only get seedless. When I'm like, okay, so show me what's on your menu for the next 3 days if it's not grapes. And I'll show you how there's more nutrition in seedless grapes than all of these other foods. And not just nutrition, but the body needs more than just calories from fruit. It needs sunlight. It needs electricity. It needs water. So when you talk about water, you can either get your H3O2 from seedless grapes, or you can go drink some water from God knows where. Like even water is a tainted thing. So I'd rather have my water filtered through a grapevine, even if the grapes don't have seeds. I'd rather have the water that comes through that plant source. So, yeah, like Ryan said, it could be based on what is typically available in the market. Yet regardless, go for the fruit directly. Yeah, because everything else is like recycled fruit and vegetable nutrients anyways. The only reason I would say if someone's gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna do the seedless grape diet because they're seedless. I'm like, well, the only thing you can justify eating more than seedless fruit would be vegetables from your own garden, period. So unless you're saying, no, I can't do the grape diet because I don't eat seedless fruit. So you must be telling me that you growing seeded heirloom organic vegetables and fruits in your own garden, and that's what you'll be eating instead. If that's not what you're eating instead, then you actually have there is nothing you can say that's going to be better than a grape, to be honest. And I'll patiently wait for someone to find something that will be scientifically and nutritionally healthier for the human body than a grape. Because there's also seedless fruits in nature. Like it happens naturally sometimes. So we gotta respect the nuance in things, and there is no absolute concrete right. Like there's no 100% perfect thing. So yeah. Um. So that's Dominique. She said that's her challenge. So I would say, Dominique, I know you're only able to type right now. But if that's your challenge, then what is your actual goal, right? Because if we say that we're having a challenge, that means that we're actually having a goal that's oriented towards something. So, what is your actual intention and goal this week when it comes to eating? If you acknowledge that eating the processed plant-based foods is not ideal while you're in trucking school, let's craft a solution of what would be your ideal way to eat while you're in trucking school, and how can we improve what you're eating. Realistically, you could just buy all of Walmart's seeded grapes and just eat those, and you that would actually be the most ideal thing on the planet to do. But we buying other foods and we eating other stuff. So let's get into the nitty gritty of what that should look like, right? Um, so I'll wait for Dominique's response with her telling us what's her actual goal and intention when it comes to food and eating this week. Matthew, you'll send me a private message on Telegram to get added to the grape detox this week.
Okay.
Ryan, let's see, Ryan, you were talking about the social media thing. So let's dig into this too much social media usage. And you say you've been on a good path with that. You just want to go even deeper into that, Ryan. What types of what do you think is the like what is your trigger, right? What is your trigger to actually end up using the phone in unnecessary circumstances?
It's just not having much going on. I just like having something. It's one of
So,
those things where,
all
yeah.
right, I'm gonna pause you. I thank you so much. I'm gonna stop you because I think I know where this is going. First, it's the supermarket, which is filling a space, filling a void. Now it's the cell phone, which is another way we fill a void. All right, sorry the call went off. I don't know what happened. Um, all right, so I was just saying, um, Ryan, we were talking about how basically these things boil down to us having a particular void and us filling it with things. And so now we're just becoming aware of how social media and screens, how we use them to self-soothe and to fill these voids. So, I asked you what the trigger is. You said the trigger to unnecessary cell phone usage is actually just empty space, as they call it. The outer mind is the devil's workshop. So the solution sounds like same thing we talked about last week, where I asked you to make a list of enjoyable, soul nourishing, joy sparking activities that you like to do, that you want to do, that even be productive things that you feel good about once they're done. And I had you make a list of those things so that you can actually focus on adding those, increasing more of those things in your life, like increasing more. And go ahead, Ryan, and share what that list is and depending on how many things are on that list, we're actually going to add 10 more things to that list on this call so that you have an even more extensive toolbox of things to choose from rather than just reaching for your phone. And even if you do reach for the phone, it's like, okay, look, I'm gonna just put a timer, I'm gonna use the phone for 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna get off the phone and go do this thing that I said I actually would rather do, right? So share with us, Ryan, what's the list from last week look like?
All right.
How many of
Hold
those
on. Let me just get it because I gotta find it.
and then we'll add some things to the list afterwards. So just unmute once you're ready to share what's on the list. How many of those things did you actually use and apply and do this past week? And then we'll brainstorm together about 5 to 10 more things that can be added to this list as we focus more on the eliminating cell phone addiction. It's all connected though. It doesn't matter whether you're trying to eliminate cell phone addiction or food addiction or whatever. It's the solution is actually on growing the things that we want to improve, like focusing on the things that we want to grow. So we're not going to actually improve social media addiction, focus social media addiction. We'll actually improve social media addiction by focusing on the things that we want to increase and having a strategy for when we fall down. Yeah. All right. So you're muted, Ryan. Let me unmute you or request that you unmute yourself. I cannot hear you, Ryan. Feel free to share whenever you're ready.
All right. Is that fine? Okay. Yeah, it just took me a few minutes. I had to find it because it was written on a different planner. Okay. The list I had actually had 11 items, although they might overlap. So I actually did a few of them today anyway. All right. The first one was vacuuming. I did that today. The second one was going through stuff, cleaning. Didn't do that. I'll have to get to. Third was library, primarily to take care of paperwork. I will have to go to the library tomorrow. I want to return a few things. Let's see. Get organized. It's a little clear. Fifth was go to the city. This is, making time to travel here and there. Go to the city, go to the park, combine those two. See friends and family. Watch a movie. Read. Meditate. Call a friend or family member. Yeah, that's about it. That's the sum total.
Okay, that was 11 items?
Yeah, 10, 11 roughly.
Okay. And by the way, everyone who's on the call is free to do this exercise. It really applies to Ryan because he's aware of what some of his addictions are and he's aware of how they're hindering him. So we're really just focusing on like, what are the other things we can do like that actually nourish our souls instead of these addictive behaviors. But okay, Ryan, so I don't know. Is it necessary to make the list longer, or do you just need to revert to the list when you start picking up your phone too? Is that something you hadn't thought about? Like, oh, I only do this when I want to go to the grocery store, but I could also do these things scrolling on my phone, basically.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if adding more would help or not. I mean, if additional ideas may not be a bad idea, it's just a matter of just having the ideas and implementing them.
Yeah. So let's see if we can add. How many of those things on the list did you not apply this past week?
Let's see. Reading, I didn't, well, not so much reading, so that probably was that. Meditation's been on the lighter side. Seeing friend and family, that one I wasn't able to do. Go to the city.
That's kind of dependent. That's kind of dependent on people. That's dependent
Yeah.
on people agreeing to see you. So,
Yeah, so it was a few here and there
but
going to
those
the
first
park.
two sound really, really valuable.
Hmm.
You can, if you can brainstorm, maybe add two more things to that list. But really, the goal this next week, I would say, to focus on actually doing everything on the list
All
because you have plenty of opportunities to do that. If you notice yourself wanting to go to the store, and you say, "No, I'm not going to." Okay, I'm just going to grab my phone and scroll. He's like, "Wait a minute, that's also something I don't
although
actually
that,
want to
that was an
do."
idea you said
And
to
you
leave
pull
the
out the
phone
list
home.
and you choose something from the list that,
Yeah.
but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, just
Well,
revert back to the
I think
list when you
I,
find
I was
yourself triggered.
I was gonna say certainly one I can add is leave the phone alone. I could do that in a gradual, maybe for a short trip and then a longer trip. It's something I can do.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What else is there? Yeah, I think that's one. What else is there? Yeah, I haven't I done. Yeah. I'm certainly open other options. Let's see. There's that, there's that. Oh, well, something I can also do. I can also take the books with me when I go to the city and give them to people. That as well. That's another option. Anything not rather phone. Yeah, I think the idea of sort of leaving the phone alone home is a good step. So if I get used to it, it's no problem. All right. I think that's the one I'm gonna have to probably do the most. It's that one and just having something in its place. So replacing one with something else. Oh, that's something I can also do. It's a library and read. Go to a spot where it's more facilitated to do that. All right, so I could certainly add, certainly keep the phone and maybe even go to the library and read or do other activities that don't involve being on the phone. Certainly going to think it'll take time to adjust to, but I think it's certainly doable. Wait, oh, oh, oh boy, back again.
Sorry about this. I don't know what's
Uh,
wrong with the
the,
Zoom app,
well,
but
that was fun. That was fun. I was
yeah,
chatting with
Ryan.
myself.
Does that sound like it'd be helpful?
Yeah,
Just keep
I
it
came up.
simple.
Yeah. I was basically saying that I think the key ones I can add is practice leaving the phone alone. And also, I can incorporate going to the central library because they usually have activities, and I can either bring a book or bring books that I can donate or give away. But they have activities usually going on somewhere, so there's usually something going on. It's not like there's no lack of activity. I think I can do those
Okay.
two, the
So
minimum.
do you have what you need? Do you have what you need to make improvements this week?
Yeah, I just have to do it. That's going to be the thing. So I'll have to just do it. That's it.
Right. So what's the safety mechanism you have in place to hold yourself accountable to actually implement?
Oh,
I mean, it's
well,
not, maybe it's you're just being more aware this week, right? And it's
yeah,
just shifting your awareness, right? That's pretty
yeah,
much it.
I think, well, the idea of letting somebody else know usually tends to help because I'm much more aware of it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll just have to do what I
Okay.
can with that, letting you know, but also just, I gotta let another friend or two know. Then one of my other friends was like, surprised you're back on social media. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm also going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I'm going to remove most of the apps where I waste the time anyway. I do that as well. I got to do that too.
Exactly.
And that way, because then it's just as clear. It's like, no, there's no reason. I mean, it's not that I can't have no access. It's just the access is just like, all right. Because honestly, I'm noticing, I'm like, there's not really much going on. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's
Okay.
just, it's just
Awesome,
not,
Ryan.
yeah,
Let's
it's not
keep
being
it
aware.
let's keep it
Yeah.
short. Let's keep it short and sweet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
Sorry. I don't want to hold over time.
yeah, I mean, we get it. Like, yeah, you're going to be more, that's gonna be good. You're gonna be more diligent. I'll also say one more thing to help, not only eliminating the apps that are just time wasters, but also utilizing the features on the device that let you know how much time you're spending on certain apps. So that way you can have some sort of measurable context for, maybe it's just, maybe, just for today, and maybe tomorrow as well. Just turn the timer on and check the statistics for how much time are you spending on certain apps. And then as the week goes on, you can do two things. You can put a time limiter on certain apps. You can delete those certain apps, or whatever apps are left, you can just observe the numbers as you go throughout the week and observe how much time you're spending on them. So you do a daily comparison, then do a weekly comparison, because that's the only way you'll know, is actually see the numbers. When people do that, the people are usually very, like, surprised that they spend, I don't know, 16 hours a day on something like Instagram, or 12 hours a day on something like YouTube. Like, it's very interesting to see those numbers laid out when it's like, well, dang, I only sleep for like 7 or 8 hours and I work for another eight. So you mean I spend 12 of those hours on this app? Like, there's no way this app is giving me that much value? So hopefully that's helpful, right? Does that sound helpful, Ryan? Or like something you can do?
Yes, yes. That's something I can build upon.
Because that way, then it's less about like, oh, was I aware? It's like giving yourself tangible action steps that will move you in the direction you want to go. So, yeah, I would say we covered pretty decent ground this evening. Um, yeah, if anyone has more questions about the grape diet or wants to join in on that, send me a private message and I'll make sure you get the info that you need. I'm starting all fruit tomorrow, and grapes be around, I guess, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you guys have time to prepare for the grape cleanse, and I'll share some information in the school group about what's the best way to start preparing yourself for a simpler, lighter, more hydrating way of eating. Does anyone else have any questions today? Anything you guys want to share? Um, yeah, like, now's the time until next Sunday to get any questions answered, any clarity, any anxieties, any confusion. Yeah. So I will wait for another, I don't know, 30 seconds. And if you have any questions after this, I'll be sure to get to it. I'll either make a video about it, or I will respond in the chat of the group. But the main thing is everyone knows what they have to do for this week. Ryan, you got your stuff that you need to be aware of. Dominique, I see you maybe not available to talk right now, but hopefully you understand that you yourself can actually do a really good fruit cleanse while you're in trucking school. I've observed that it's actually a lot easier to do cleanses and stuff like that when your lifestyle is really consistent. Like if you have a daily schedule that's like exactly the same, it makes it very easy to then know that you're going to eat fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch, fruit for dinner, or raw or whatever. You can plan your meals. You know when you're going to get hungry. You know what your energy is going to be used on.